Hi guys, today I want to talk to you about something somebody asked me recently, and I think I just put out the video about how I lived 10 different lives, and I was talking of course about my characters. It's probably more than 10, and it's basically I'm keeping track of what's going on. They all have their own little things going on and their connection with one another and so on, and I'm really not great at explaining it, but anyway, that aside, he was just asking like how I keep track of everything that happens because I just published the 8th book of my series called She Was His Angel, which is in the Hernandez series. And if you're not familiar, go to mimaonfire.com. I have the entire series there. I talk about it. I have whatever one of the books is about. Kind of can help you familiarize yourself with it. But anyway, so I do have to keep a lot of notes. I can't trust my memory. Now, a lot of things I do remember, but sometimes I'll be writing about something and be like, yeah, when this happened, I better go back and read that chapter in that specific book. So I can just go flip through my notes and be like, oh yeah, this character was last in this book, this chapter, and this is what happened. I kind of have to familiarize myself with the specifics before if I'm making reference or bringing the character back. Like in this latest book, I'm bringing an older character back. So for that reason, I kind of had to go back and review a few things. So I had to make sure I had my facts straight. And even then, I may not. It's possible. It's possible. Anyway, so that aside, I will show you one thing that I do use. This is my book. Whoops, I almost showed you upside down. It'll probably be backwards because for some reason these videos record backwards and it's really, really annoying actually. And it says the future belongs in those who believe in their dreams. I don't know if that's true. I'm still not sure. I wouldn't swear by it. But anyway, that doesn't matter. You can use any book. This just happened to be the right book. It was a good size. It was nice and solid. It was a nice durable cover because these things tend to get thrown around. All my books have, because I use them a lot, so they kind of get a bit fucked up, quite frankly. So anyways, what I have is like right in here, the first page. I think you can see it, but it has all of the book titles. Now, the book titles kind of, and then I show also who, kind of the theme behind it. But I don't know if you can't see this. So it's going to probably be backwards. The theme behind it or who the character, the protagonist is. So my first couple of books, for example, Where All Animals Always Be a Wolf, protagonist was Chase. The first one was about Chase. The second one was Chase telling a story and talking a lot about Diego. So we kind of learned through his eyes. But the beauty of that is Diego remains a bit of a mystery for the very reason that I don't know. It was just because there's certain characters you want to keep them a bit of a mystery, and he's one of them. And then, of course, my latest book, She Was His Angel. It centers a lot on Paige. However, we don't really want to know Paige. We do, but we want her to be a bit of a mystery. So I'm getting off topic. Anyway, back to what I was trying to talk about. So I have all my notes. So this is, like I say, it talks about what each book was kind of centered on. I kind of know that anyway, but through time, sometimes we forget stuff and who it follows and so on. And then I get into the characters. Now, this is like Chase Jacobs, and he's in book 1, 2. I don't know. Whatever. He'll probably be in the whole series. I don't plan to kill him off just yet. Could happen. But anyway, and then I have in the corner Chase. And that's just so, if I'm flipping through fast, I can flip through the corner and just find the page I'm looking for. And I have notes. And they're not well established, well caught up. Because I'm looking at them now and I'm like, jeez, what other stuff happened? But it kind of gives the vitals that are a little more important. Maybe not the specifics, like on this day he did this. But, this is his mother's name. This is his kids' names. Yeah, and stuff like that. I kind of have to update this bit. I just noticed that. Whatever. So I have all the characters from however they're in, however long they're in the series, what books they're in. Yeah. And that's pretty much the first part of the book. And then the second part of my book, I have very specific notes. Even then, I'm not great with notes. I kind of give a quick overview, like if you go to watch a television show, it might say, you know, tonight's episode, and it'll say blah, 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 blah. Just quick notes. It's not, and that's kind of the same thing. I don't get into things a whole lot. I just kind of give you an idea. And I have each chapter broke up what's going on. And, you know, like the first book, We're All Animals, chapter 1, I talk about the month. It's June. I should be doing that more often because I'm not often putting the time frame, and that's kind of throwing me off sometimes. So I have like Chase ends up at a party after having his heart broken. Now, and I put his name. I didn't hear. Usually I put the full name, and the first time I mention them. The first time I mention, I put their full name and I highlight it. That means that's the first time you're going to see them in this book. And I mention a couple other people there in this chapter with him, and I highlight their name. This means this is the first chapter we meet them. And then there'll be others. I'll mention them after. I won't have them highlighted. That's just for me to know when they come along in the story. So I talk about how, you know, he meets this girl. Even though he's not interested in her, they end up hooking up after she slips something into his drink. Classic, except it usually happens to a woman. Not my books, but anyway. And then I kind of describe what happened. He kind of has a crush on this other girl. It's a big fucking mess, as relationships often are. Anyway, so that was my first chapter. So I get into the kind of the specifics, and then I have all my books. That's the first book and the second book and third. Anyways, and so you get the idea. And that's basically my notes. So again, if I'm trying to find something very specific, it's a little bit easier. Go through the notes sometimes, and I go pick up the book. I read the chapter, go through it. Oh, okay, that's what I wanted to know. That's how I keep track of the series, more or less. I also have another book. You know, it's a digital age, but I don't work that way. I don't want my notes here in the computer and my book here in the computer and this here. I want, you know, like people who have date books. I have date books. I don't write things on my phone. I have to have something on a piece of paper in front of me. Maybe that's old school. Maybe it's just because I can't have everything on my computer. I like to look at my computer and have my notes. I have a clipboard. Now, I'm not going to show you because it's really messy, but I have a bunch of little notes I've had more recently that I haven't added to my full length of. These are things that'll probably happen in this next book. Maybe. The thing is, there's notes here that have been here for the last few books that just never quite fit in. Or it'll be something I never really, I didn't quite fit in, but I still think I might use. So a little comment, a scene, something I visualize. I like that. I'm going to write it down. Someday I might use it. And then sometimes even just reminders. So this book ended. There were certain things going on with each character. I kind of put a few little notes to remind myself to bring it up in the next book. So I'm trying to think of something without being too much of a spoiler. Well, for example, Maria, which is George Hernandez's daughter, she's learning self-defense. I didn't really talk about a lot in this book that's about to come out. That is, I say that because I don't actually have a physical copy yet. But I might by the time I release this video because I'm a bit slow doing that. Anyway, how she's in self-defense. But, you know, I want to make sure that I bring that up a little bit more in the next book. And then some different little things like that. So I have notes for that. But I also have, wouldn't it be neat to have this? Maybe we should bring this up. You know, I'm trying to find something. Oh, like, or sometimes I'll see something or read something. Either see something like a documentary or like true crime podcast or something, or researching, and I'll be like, I could see that fitting in my book someday. And one of the things I see in my notes here, it's not very nice. If you're easily offended, you probably wouldn't be watching me anyway, but I talk about, I see in a video where one form of torture, sometimes the cartels, they rip out your toenails or your teeth. I guess I don't have to mention the fact that they don't do this in a kind, gentle way. I guess the word ripped probably gives you that impression. I have that note here. So that's to remind me. Someday I might put that in there. That definitely could work. And so I have stuff like that, or little things. Oh, I'm hearing a lot of stuff in True podcasts, and I think I like them because they're more raw. They're a little more, they're not overproduced. So, you know, it's, they are careful about what they put, or say, I should say. They just tell you how it is, yeah. Anyways, I'm talking way too much. I think I have to end this video soon. See if there's anything else. And this, you know, or it could be a quote. I have some quotes here. You know, and sometimes I know who would say them. As soon as you know, there's certain quotes that I don't even have to write who's going to say because I can hear it. You know, there's one here, and I actually think I used it in the last book. I didn't take it off my notes, where I think Jolene said something like Latino man or Mexican man or such pervs. And I just picture her saying it. I'm not saying that's true. It's just, I know that's her point of view, and that there would be a situation where she said, "You're so pervy." She says that word a lot. And that she specifically is going to generalize in the way that kind of pisses people off. And I have that wrote down. And I'm not saying that I think that. I'm just saying I can picture her saying that. So I wrote it down. And I think a lot of men are pervy. It has nothing to do with their status of, like, whatever they're from. I'm rambling. Anyways, so I have that in my notes. Actually, a lot of people are pervy, now that I think about it. I'm really getting off topic. It's nothing to do if you're male, female, or where you're from. So Jolene is kind of right. And, anyway, so there. I have all my notes there. If I think of something today, I write it down. I add it. I don't know where it fits in the book, if it fits in the book, why it fits in the book. There's things I've put in that I'm like, I don't know why that comes to mind. I'm not sure how that's going to fit into the grand scheme of things. Hey, and it does sometimes. I'm like, oh, that's not what I expected. Anyway, I'm kind of talking too much now, and this is like my longest video. This is just getting out of control. I'm talking way too much. So guys, like, share, subscribe to my channel, and share this video if you don't mind. And that's about it. If you have a topic you want me to talk about, let me know. And yeah, that's all I have to say for today. Have a good day, guys. Bye-bye.